I'm Corrado Macchiarelli. I'm a lecturer in economics at Brunel University and a visiting fellow at the European Institute of the LSE. The history of EU and UK relations has been characterized by several stops and goes, starting from Churchill talk about United States of Europe up to the withdrawal of UK to the latest stage of the European Economic Community negotiations. I think it's important to understand from the history of these relations is that the current state of affairs is not necessarily a good predictor of what will happen next. When it comes to evaluating joining a monetary union, I think the literature normally focuses on two main strands of literature. The one is the typically optimum currency area, which has been initiated in the 50s by Mandel, which basically focuses on symmetry, openness, and flexibility. But there is also a second strand of literature which focuses on optimal control. So, to which extent joining a monetary union can reduce moral hazard of countries joining. So I think the current state of affairs, in particular the discussion about UK relation with respect to the monetary union in the past is mainly focused on the second strand of the literature, so on the optimal control, rather than looking at cost benefits from an optimum currency area point of view. Of course, UK is not the most open of the economies, but it's also true that UK has a very flexible labor market compared to countries like Germany, Italy, or France. To me, the key question is making a monetary union sustainable compatible with the idea of relaxing the clause of achieving an ever-closer union? In my view, the answer to this is no, at least for the EMU itself. An ever-closer union would be necessary if we want, in fact, to prevent the fragility of the system reoccurring. And in particular, when it comes to genuine economic and monetary union, I think we can make two scenarios. We have a scenario of a limited genuine economic and monetary union, in which we can assume that only a few of the proposals will be in fact adopted. So there will be, in fact, not substantial change in the EMU architecture as we know it. But there is another scenario which is in fact assuming that the GMU will take place. So the European Monetary Union will no longer be a European Monetary Union in 10 years' time, but it will be a monetary union with a full banking union, with a fully fledged fiscal transfer, with macroeconomic surveillance and a very strict monitoring of competitiveness indicator, and hopefully a reduction of democratic deficit. So provided that monetary integration worked, I think the EU withdrawal of the UK would be very detrimental, and that would happen, in my view, in both scenarios, both in the limited GMU scenario and the full GMU scenario. Clearly, if the UK would withdraw, of course, we have to consider that costs and benefits are likely being underestimated, because the Union is aiming at radically, in the best case scenario, moving forward.